Charles Brownlow was born 1861, just a few months after Geelong had played its first ever official match. By the time he was 16, he was keen on the idea of playing football, but his father said that he didn't have the physical build to cope with footy. One day, Charles' father happened to be attending a match. He noticed this fellow on the wing playing well, and he asked, "Who's that on the other side of the ground?" And his mate said, "You ought to know, it's your own son." His son was indeed a very good footballer. By 1883, Charles was captain of Geelong Football Club. Charles was largely responsible for inspiring the club to that great success. Soon after being married, Charles and his wife moved into number 14 Sydney Avenue, and the house today remains as it was. In January of 1924, Charles passed away. His funeral was held at Wesley Church, and he was buried at Eastern Cemetery. Shortly after Charles passed away, the idea of the Brownlow Medal was born. The Brownlow Medal concept ensures that players who play in good spirit as well as with great skill are rewarded, and that represents exactly what Charles Brownlow stood for.
Dr. Mary de Garis was Geelong's first female doctor and obstetrician. Throughout the 1920s, maternal mortality rates were really high. Mary achieved an unheard of record, 1,000 deliveries without the death of one mother. It was a great improvement for women's health. Mary bought a house, 268 La Trobe Street, and turned the front room into her practice.
They named a wing in the Geelong Hospital as de Garis House. I think she was much loved by her patients in Geelong.
What she did was very path-breaking. Mary worked as a war surgeon in World War I overseas.
The Australian Army wouldn't have her. They didn't want to send a female doctor to the front. She subsequently enlisted with the Scottish Women's Hospital and ended up going to Serbia. It just shows the resolve that Mary had to go to an unknown war front. In 2024, the Serbian government acknowledged Mary on a postage stamp.
Mary de Garis contributed a tremendous amount.
She was a very resolute woman. She felt that she had services to offer, the same as the men.
A legacy of women's voices being heard, a life of service, helping others. It is very rewarding delving into the past of Geelong. There are endless stories out there.
What could be more unpredictable than the career of James Harrison? He had such a variety of talents.
He ran the Geelong Addy, he ran the post office. He almost became the first mayor of Geelong.
Finding out that he was an inventor was exciting when I was quite young.
At Geelong Advertiser, when he was cleaning his type with volatile ether, sometimes it attracted condensation and would freeze.
He thought perhaps he could use ether and put pressure on it, using steam. This was a continuous reuse of a component.
That has led to the process that most of the refrigeration machinery uses even today.
So each time you open the fridge, you should say, "Thanks, James."
This is where James came to conduct experiments in either a cave or a quarry.
And he came here to Point Henry and was doing experiments in relation to evaporation for the salt plains.
At the end of his life, he was still experimenting at 77.
I guess that's inspired me and my sons to have the confidence to also be inventors.
Harrison invented a means of temperature control. Every process in science and medicine, even space, nothing would work without temperature control.
He left an enormous legacy. So many things which he did have changed our world. And here in Geelong,